Oh, something's happening.
But we still don't have a quorum, so.
Sorry. I lost the internet here. And it looks like we lost Elena, or we would have had the quorum.
And Joan might be here shortly, but she was still making a comment when I logged off.
Okay. Well, that's what I was afraid of, that they ended up staying longer.
Yeah.
They're still going on?
I don't know. They're not here yet.
So Kathy, I'll tell you what I told Elena and Rebecca. The only thing on the agenda for tonight was propane, because apparently the town has changed its vendor.
Okay.
We have no choice.
Right. I remember we talked about that last month.
Yeah, we have a town building. We have absolutely no choice as to whether or not we use their vendor.
Gotcha.
Despite the fact that we had whoever was Superior or somebody come in and talk to us and offer us a deal, we don't have a choice. And the other thing that was going to come up under board concerns, we no longer are exempt from some of the state library regulations. The regulation says that we are supposed to have, it is essential we have a director with a master's, an MLS, a master's in library science. We were exempt before because our population was low enough. But as of the 2020 census, the numbers that came out last year, we are no longer exempt. Our population is 5,566, and we are over the 5,000 for the exemption. So if we're going to have budget meetings starting on Wednesday, this is something that has to be considered in the budget.
Okay.
Apparently we no longer have a choice.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I don't know why I don't have a picture here. Did you tape over the camera?
Just take that little sticker down.
There we
It's
go.
funny. I couldn't log on with my video to the town meeting. I don't know what that's about. And this one immediately went to video.
So as I was saying, with the town meeting, you know, they argued the exit door, they argued the gutters again. There wasn't a lot of other argument on the other things. So at this point, we just have to wait and see what happens with ARPA.
And I think, I don't think we should conduct any official business, but I'm sure Joan will tell you that she and Deb got a little bit, it got a little bit contentious toward the end of what they had to say.
And that is why I wanted to be there, because that's exactly what I got told about the last meeting. The two of them were there.
I know.
I would have liked to have told them, no, we're all leaving. You have to go. Because I can tell you that I heard it no end after the last meeting.
From other people in the town, you mean?
From
ARPA people?
No, from the Board of Selectmen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and are we being recorded right now?
Yes. Do you want me to pause it? So
yeah, one quick
we don't have a quorum, so why don't we just pause the recording? Thank you. The town changed its propane vendor. We do not have a choice. This is a town building. We have to use their vendor.
Well, why did we ever choose the vendor last time?
I'm not sure we ever actually followed through with choosing a vendor. We talked to Superior. I'm not sure that we ever actually brought them in. I'm not sure, but I was told by the town that we don't have a choice. We have to use their vendor whether we like it or not.
What's the new one's name?
I don't know. Deb, Hope?
Yeah.
Do either of you know what the vendor is that the town is using for propane?
It's
Okay, I don't think it's Superior because they're the ones who
No,
talk
it's
to.
High Grade Energy. Excuse me, it's right in. high grade gas, right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yes. High grade gas
High
service
grade. Okay.
from Stafford Springs.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So like I said, this isn't anything that we vote on. This is just something that
This
needs to
puts
be
us
said.
into a bind because we have a conflict of interest. You know, it really, it puts Joy in the bind. So she's going to have to decide what she's gonna do about it.
I don't think it creates a conflict of interest for us because we're not the ones that hired them. So there was no nepotism involved in it. There was nothing like that. The town hired them. We had no say in it. So I really don't think it creates a conflict of interest for
Okay,
us.
well, if Superior comes back and says it's a conflict, that's for the town to take care of.
Exactly. Okay, and so as I have said before, okay, so we do have a quorum, but like I said, I don't think this is anything we can vote on. We were supposed to have our first budget meeting on Wednesday night.
Wednesday, the 18th.
No, we're down on Wednesday, the 11th on our schedule.
Okay, I'll look.
On the schedule that we sent to the town, we sent the 11th, the
This
18th, and the
Wednesday.
25th
This Wednesday.
because,
See if I can do it.
okay, well, if you can't, you can't.
I probably can. I can't think.
We did the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th so we could get 3 meetings in.
Well, I only put 2 down. I get 2 down. Okay.
So big thing that needs to be discussed with the budget is, as of the 2020 census, the numbers that came out last year in 2021, the town now has a population of 5,566, which means we are no longer exempt from following the state of Connecticut Library Association rules about having a director that has an MLS. We were exempt before
Now,
because of
this is by
population.
law? By state statute?
It's the state.
Is it state statute?
It's state library association bylaws. That's where I
Okay,
found it.
well, that's not state statute.
Okay, it's on my other computer.
Okay, so, you know, I believe it's the bylaws, but the problem is now that, who do they recommend we hire?
You're kidding,
Okay,
right?
no, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I don't think this is a good time to even discuss that.
But it's something that we have to be
We have to
prepared to
consider.
defend,
We
and
can
we have to
consider.
consider.
Okay,
It-
and we'll do it next month.
But next month we'll have already done the budget meetings. That's
We
why.
can't afford it. We can't afford it. It's just too much money. And if it isn't by statute, then I think we have to go to, they approved the 2 people. They approved the double people at the state, at the board there. So they may have
That's
no
because
issue.
we were exempt at the time because our
But
population
they
was
may
low
have no issue with this. They may be able to do
You
it.
say that's the American Library Association?
No, it's the Connecticut State Library Association bylaws that.
Connecticut State Library. Now, why would Dawn Lavelle have said it was fine, that everybody does it differently, and they've had libraries where there's been 2 directors before?
No,
We're a small
no,
town.
it's not a matter of 2 directors. That's not it. It's a matter of the qualifications of the directors. The qualifications of the directors change when you go from under 5,000 to over 5,000.
I'd love to see that in print, yeah, if you could.
Did
send
over
that to me.
5,000 2 years ago.
We were probably more people.
I don't know.
I thought our
I thought it was
population was
6,000.
dropping.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
It
know,
just-
but I think this is a negotiation
I
with
think we
the
can look into that a
state
little
board.
more.
Okay. I can send you the thing that I have. I've got the link.
I
on
just
my-
gotta have it in writing, because otherwise I don't know how to explain it or understand it myself or
Um,
ask about it.
But I've got the link to the library, the state thing. And
Did they send that to you? Is that how you found out, or how did?
no, somebody said something to me about co-directors and the qualifications of our directors, somebody in town. And so I went hunting. I found it because comments were made. And
Yeah, I think that. I know the budget's gonna be starting to be worked on this
Well, I
week, but I'm
think that,
thinking that better, yeah, I wouldn't mind some clarification on that, just to
like I said,
make
that's-
sure it's the same
Yeah,
across
I
the
think,
board.
I think this is something we can't change right now. We can't change it with this budget. We'll have
okay,
to
like I
stick
said,
with
it's
it.
just, it's
We'll-
just
we'll have to
something
do
that I
that.
wanted to
And then
present.
we'll have to, negotiate with the Connecticut state, but just say to them that this comes up too close to budget to
What do you do?
readjust budget, because we are going to have to offer somebody a whopping more than what we're offering, what we would be able to offer if we went backwards to a director, and we're going to end up with the same problems we've had. So it isn't like we've had this whole row of very successful people and we know we can.
Oh,
fill the
I know
job.
that, I know that.
Okay, so we have
I
to
know that.
negotiate with them. And we'd be making a big mistake to make any changes like this without a thorough study. And that's not gonna happen within 3 weeks.
Well, I know Christie, and I don't know what the population was, but I know both Brittany and Christie, when they were directors, did not have their MLS. They got their MLS, and I don't know how. Yeah, I'm not sure what, unless
know,
something's
what they're-
changed.
What they've got is a real pie in the sky, and I understand
And-
why they went for it. But I
see-
think we have to think about it.
Honest truth, I thought we were going the last time because of the population under 6,000. And we were at 6,000.
This is all new to me. I don't know anything about
Oh.
this. I'd have to look it up. I
So,
just asked the person in power and they said that that's no problem.
but it's a difference between having co-directors, that's one thing.
But have directed with that. on this.
But having a director with the proper education is.
Didn't we
is
once
something
say
else.
about, wasn't there something we would?
We can't hear you. I can't hear, there's like background noise, but people talking off screen. I can't hear you.
Deb is talking in the background, sorry.
No,
Get
was-
closer.
Wasn't there something about even with that having those, that degree or whatever? If you had so much experience, it was worth something in a degree or whatever, was it 7, 9 years? Like, I thought we even talked about all this once before
We did.
and figured out how we could get around it and how it would work and if it was okay. So unless this is a new rule or we.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems,
Yeah, it's like
that we,
a master's
Check that.
degree or a bachelor's with
like
certain
experience was something too. I
of
remember you
experience.
guys.
Yeah,
added
we
that.
talked about this before. Like I said, all I know
I thought we approved it.
is, pardon my language, but
You know,
there's people in town that are just giving me shit.
And in all honesty, and I just talked again this morning to Robbie and Brittany over the weekend, it's none of anybody else's business. You guys hold the power as far as the trustees or the board of directors. The town, they're butting in more than what they ever should have been or.
Right,
and-
I
And it's,
I
and I
understand
get where
that.
people can share
I
and have
just-
concerns, but you guys, do have
what I
to
want
say.
is simply to be able to justify. To be able to turn around and say, hey, look, the state says this is what we
No,
need to
don't
have.
bother.
and
but
this-
you can say
Don't
with the
bother. When
relationship
they-
between the town and the library, because I said so. I mean, you really could say that is your business and not theirs.
Well, the
And
other
you'd be
thing
right.
is that I don't think they're really that concerned. They have not shown up here. We've not gotten any communication. We have a chance for people to speak. Okay, so I think the response to them is that it's hard for me
They
to
won't show
take
their
this
face.
seriously because nothing has come to us. Okay, you may be the only person that feels this way because it come to us. And as Debbie says, we'll consider everything. As a board, we consider everything, but we do make our own
You
decisions.
do.
But I think
It's
that
what's
we
best for the
need
library
to,
is what you guys have to be concerned with.
we have to know more about Connecticut and we have to negotiate with them. And say that just has not worked here. And it's only bylaws. It's not by statute that I know of yet.
It's a
And then
difference.
that's a different issue. When it becomes statute, then you really have an issue. Karen, you're being spewed.
Alan, thank you. It's Charlotte's Bristow.
That would be hard to get this all straightened out before the
We
budget.
can't
during
get it.
budget.
Oh, I'm not
And you're
saying we're
right, but
gonna
it
get
should
it straightened
be,
out
yeah,
before the budget, since
get
budget starts this
addressed.
week. No, we're not gonna get it straightened out. It's just, like I said, my big thing is I need to be able to
Not really.
control it,
Yeah.
control
You
it.
really don't have to answer to anybody.
You know,
girls.
it's like the parents that come in, and you know, and you say, well, this were a real problem. I would have heard about it from other people, you know, and I think you have a right to say that, you know,
I think
you bring it to the board listens,
those who do say something, they get all the,
that's okay,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
they make all the noise. They get
we
all
have
the-
to have thick skin. We have to have thick skin here in order to do this job. So right now, I think that, should it be talked about? Maybe, but we've got to get through the budget and we've got to set aside a couple of months to study this.
Could you not say, Karen Ann, to whoever is telling you these things that, that's something that we will, you know, check out, when we get the time?
What I usually say is this is a board decision. It's not me.
That's true too.
That's
You
good.
know, this is
And they
something
should
that
be
the
coming to
board,
the board.
right.
at a
this is something
meeting.
that the board
Yeah.
talks about and votes on.
Well,
It's
tell
true.
them to
It's
take it
not
to
all
the
on
board.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell them we'd be happy to hear you at a board meeting. That's the right channel of doing things, Jess.
Mhm.
That's what we're always told,
Yeah.
the proper way of doing stuff, who to speak to, who not to speak to. Just say, we'd love to hear your views, come and share with us.
Okay, so should we all consider that just for right now, we will just keep things the way they are for the budget?
I would.
And then we had talked about seeing if we could get somebody from the state to come in and take a look at things and make sure everything is okay. And look at that over the next few months, because I never could find anybody that,
And would you say for this next fiscal year, we're keeping this whole thing? So that gives us plenty of time to see, I don't know where Hope is now in her studies, you know? And
We had one director that went to school and was promised that she would have a job and a raise. And when it came that time, they reneged on it. And that's why we lost the best person we could ever had here.
okay, Rebecca, Kathy, are you good with just leaving the status quo for this budget and worrying about it at a later date?
I am, if Joan is right, that given that it's a bylaw and not a statute at the moment, that we can still eke out another year of our current arrangement. If that's true, then I don't see why we wouldn't carry on.
I'll,
But
I'll,
yes, we do.
I'll pull the website up and I'll send it to everybody so that you can see. But, yeah, okay. Rebecca, you good with this?
I totally agree with Kathy.
Okay, so we will look into it, and as long as it's not a law, then we're good. Okay, anybody else have anything that they need to talk about? Kathy, did you want to talk at all about?
I don't know, Joan, I left when you were making, I think, one final statement. I don't know if we should hash out just what went on in that meeting or how you felt, Karen Ann also doing the presenting. It was hard to hear a little bit on Zoom,
Yeah.
everything that was happening. So I don't know if you guys want to just give your impressions.
Well, they're not happy with the increase in money and they're not gonna fund us fully.
Right.
So they're gonna drop something out of there, I think. And we really need to know what monies we have and what accounts are what. The last accounting I found was several years old. And so that's one I shared with Debbie, and we're like, okay, we know this is for this. We may have to pick up and pay for one of these if we think it's an emergency. And if they really don't want to fund everything, then we need to decide what thing would we turn back for this year. And
Well, everything that was presented to ARPA also got presented to CIP. And CIP has their first meeting tomorrow.
okay,
So everything that got submitted to ARPA got submitted to CIP
So
on a
everything we
5-year
did-
plan. on a 5-year plan, not for immediate funding, but on a 5-year plan.
So all of ARPA's were, so I'm that, I don't remember now. All of ARPA items, the 5 that we did were over 10,000 then. All of them? No. 8,000 was the egress and that went up. I don't think so.
I submitted everything to CIP. I didn't care whether it was over 10,000 or not. I submitted it all.
Oh, because Christina said it had to be over 10,000.
Right, Christina
Okay,
is
well-
also chair of both committees. I figured maybe if she saw stuff submitted to both, she might think about what she wanted to fund for ARPA.
I think she has in her head that we should have been probably putting this on CIP all along. So if stuff does get tabled, I think that she's hoping that it goes through CIP instead. And part of that has to do with allowing people to see what is involved in consistent maintenance in a building. That if it goes on this plan, then the town has to acknowledge this is a thing we do on a routine every so often, every few years basis. I think there is some merit to that mentality. So it's not a rejection per se. It's just maybe it belongs better somewhere else.
Well, then what we can say to them is we pick one of us, we're leaving this on ARPA, and we'd like to have the rest funded through, we're leaving this on CIP and the rest could be funded through ARPA.
I will tell you, last year at CIP, Christina did a very good job of going through and saying, let's put this on ARPA, let's put this on ARPA, let's put this on ARPA, let's put this on ARPA.
And they're trying to get a lot of stuff off of
Yeah.
CIP and give.
And
to
so,
ARPA.
you
So
know,
they
fine,
clean
take it off of
CIP
CIP
off, then, yeah.
and put it on ARPA.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. My guess would be if they don't fund something, it's probably the big ticket item, which is the $55,000 for the windows. And then I will simply say, I think that's like in year 3 or something for CIP. It's like move it forward and let's
But
see.
you don't have a guarantee, we don't have a guarantee that it could be out in CIP for 10 years.
Oh, I know.
There's
More
no
than that,
guarantee,
the
right.
one of the drainage projects has been on CIP for over 20, and they're finally doing it.
It is not. No, my point I tried to do at the end was that, and I was trying to explain it to Joan on the way over here, was that we are an entity in town that is only asked, we had 10 projects. They knocked it down to 5. It only totals for the 5 we're asking right now of 105,000. That compared to what everybody else is getting and how many applications everybody else has put in and how many thousands of dollars, that I didn't think it was wrong to ask that they do everything, because Erica brought up the point that if we can't give you all the money, do we have money on our budget to cover it? And no, I'm thinking we can't do anything unless we have ARPA money. So that's what I was thinking, like, like it's only 105,000 and other people certainly have gotten so much more than what we are asking for. I just wanted a piece of the pie.
I think we can, I would try to keep the painting, $50,000 on there. We got a heck of a lot better of getting $8,000 or $9,000 for bollards than, out of
And that does
CIP,
make a
than a
difference. Like others
50,000.
can make a big difference. That is safety. Bollards is like, those are important things.
Rebecca, I know you don't have a treasurer's report because the town again is behind. But for our next meeting in February, is there any way that you could give us an idea of how we're doing in terms of our budget? Are we going to end up in the red or are we going to end up in the black?
Oh, definitely. I will. I was trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the best way to present all the information is. But yes, I will definitely. I will try to. I'm going to try to get that done before our meeting on Wednesday.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to be able to do it in 2 days, but yeah, that would be great if you could. Because that would give us a place where we stand. And I don't need the town coming back and saying you've got money. Because most of our money is earmarked for things.
Okay, but tonight, I don't know whether you heard that part, but we kind of went around with them because I complained and I said, for 6 months now, at least, I've come in here, etc. I would like to know every one of our little accounts and what it's for. And are any of them applicable to any of these projects? And if we say to the town, we've looked at it and there's none that are applicable, fine. If we look at it and we do have some monies, we say, this is how much money we could put in. If you give us $5,000 towards the Ballards, we'll finish it off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things like that, so that we don't lose a whole project,
Yeah.
if possible.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
what I heard, and it made some sense, if they have, some obligation to use funds, like they can't go back to the town and say, well, the library asked for A, B, and C, but they could only fund A because B and C came in over budget. And then either we don't finish the project and have to return the funds or ask for more money from one or another board. I think it makes them look bad and then they have to answer to the town. I mean, I get it. The way I read that meeting is some of those first items, I think we're going over much better than the last item. So I don't know if there was some wisdom.
I think the gutters is the biggest
Yeah.
point of contention right now.
And I think, when Ralph Toulis spoke, I think that was helpful for sure. And they were very grateful that the camera, had been confirming that it wasn't a clog or something else. If I had to guess, I'd say the bollards and the gutters are a yes. If I had to guess, the windows and the egress are a no. Like that would just be a guess. And what was the fifth one? Oh, and your first one, the structure, the wall and the grout and so forth. I would guess that's a yes. That's just the feeling I got. Did you think so too, Karen Ann?
No, actually, I wasn't thinking that they were going to fund the gutters.
Oh, well, I got the sense that they will, but we'll find out.
That is the most
I
important thing.
don't think that we'll have a real problem with the retaining wall and that sort of stuff because that is a serious safety issue.
When will we find out what they decide? Obviously, they're still talking about other things now.
Yeah.
But I like the way, is Mr. Stevens, is it? Is
Mhm.
it?
Yeah, Phil Stevens spoke up really nicely. I was just alluding to
thought
that.
He made a very, very good point. And I think that he, in a way, chastised them, but
Yep.
didn't say anything bad. You know what I mean?
He didn't call anybody out in particular, nor did he defend you guys individually, but it was just like, he was like, since when are we expecting the library directors to be experts in their own building? Like they're library directors. They're not people who do roofing and windows and suddenly they have to be able to speak to every technical and engineering question you have. Like he said, Erica, when's the last time they waxed this floor? Do you know how to wax the floor or something like that? And it was a good point. I mean, it's like somehow you're responsible for all parts of this building and get blamed when it's not kept up right, or if you don't have the vocabulary to describe the process.
And
It was
throughout
very
the
nice.
Committees, meetings and minutes and stuff that I've read, no, that wasn't being done to everybody else.
Well, Phil Stevens is the guy who's superintendent of schools, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he made a comment while I was there about if you think this is bad, wait till you see my requests.
Yes, yes.
And I don't think we're being outrageous with what we requested. So there's a couple of things that we need. Hope was going to put together a list of how many actual employees we have and how many hours they're working.
Okay.
Because the state recommends outside of the director 3 FTEs for for a town of 6,000. 1 FTE for every full-time equivalent. A total of 35 hours of somebody working.
That's never been the case.
So that would be 4 times 35. Right?
Wow.
3 times, well,
Okay.
the director,
So it's 130 something hours.
As a programmer, I had 39 hours. I had more than the directors. But
well,
I wasn't considered
what
full-time.
means
It's
is
just with the director.
we need to look at how many hours is Andrea working, how many hours is Jen working, how many hours is Kathy
Yeah,
working,
yeah.
and see how that totals up.
Okay.
Because we may not be at 3 FTEs beyond the directors. Now that's assuming 1 director. So I don't know if that would go down to 2 FTEs if we only had, if we had 2 directors, I don't know.
but we don't
but
have a
that's-
director assistant, which they would have,
Right.
you know, so.
But
we
to-
still
the-
get 2
no.
people, just little names different.
No, their list of 1 or half an FTE per 1,000 for the library is for clerk 1, clerk 2, and library tech. Doesn't include an associate or assistant director. It's just for the lower positions. So Hope was gonna put that together.
Yep.
If Rebecca can get it, it would be nice to see what the money situation is, and it would be nice to have an idea of what our actual accounts are, because I'm pretty sure most of the money we have, I know we have that CD, which is like a rainy day fund, but I think most of the other accounts are earmarked for things. And one of the things that the town always comes back with is you've got money in accounts. And we need to
That's
show.
That's what I want, is that
Right.
accounting. Now, Erica said that she would talk to us about it, getting those accounts. I said, I don't know where to go. I said, Erica, I really need to see this. I don't know where to go, because if we can see those accounts, we can tell you if there's some money we can put in for these projects. Instead of asking.
Why is Erica looking into it? That's not her business.
Yes, well, it is that she is gonna prod the right person to get it to us. Because I said, we're not sure where to go and how to get that information. We need to know what every single account is, and what about this chunk of money that we have? You know, how much of it could we spend to do some of these things ourselves?
The problem is, once we start justifying that we have money in the bank and therefore we should be paying for all this stuff,
No, we shouldn't be.
then they're like, well, you should just keep paying for this stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas that big stiff should be for finishing the basement. That's leftover money from building the building that should be used to finish the building. If we use it for a few other things, that's
Well,
fine, but
now,
we shouldn't be spending the entire thing
Finishing
on
the
fixing
building might include the door. Do you know what I
Right,
mean? Things
right.
like that. So we may be, but I also said to them, you know, if you expect this out of our budget, it's a town building. What are you gonna put into it out of your budget? You know, we don't own the building.
No, we don't.
And so this is where we run into trouble, and, you know, Deb and I've talked about see if there's some old written agreement, so we know what belongs where.
We don't need a written agreement. We have the deed that says the building belongs to the town.
No, there are other things that
But-
have happened that, yeah, we should be aware of that. we're
The
not.
deed says who owns the town, but within that, evidently Deb says there was an early agreement that for so many years, the library took care of everything.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then the town took over. But what did the town take over on? Did it take over on the gutters and the
No,
painting
no,
or
no,
what?
no. That has absolutely nothing to do with the maintenance of the building. That has to do with the loan payments. That agreement is strictly for the loan payments. I've talked to Mike McCooch about it.
Okay,
And
well,
that was,
have
That's
you-
what they were taking over?
that's what they took over. There was an agreement that when the bond was passed
Mhm.
for the first, I don't know, 5 or 7 years or something, the library would reimburse the town a certain amount to offset some of the loan. And then after that period of time, the town was responsible for the rest of the loan. And it's a
Okay.
30-year loan. They're still paying on it. But that has nothing to do with agreements on fixing the building,
No,
maintenance,
no,
anything
okay,
like
but
that. That is
that's
strictly
what
on the
we need to
loan.
know. That's
That
what
is
we need to
strictly on the
know.
loan.
Did he have the copy of the
You
agreement?
got that in writing? I'm sure it's gotta be somewhere, but that'd be. nice
Yeah,
to
no,
have.
I don't have a copy
Yeah, well.
of it in writing. It's
That's
just
if
I'm
you
talking to
find
Mike
those
about it.
things, it would be really handy.
Yeah.
We're gonna work on that.
Yeah. I have seen the numbers. I have seen the numbers, but I do not have a hard copy.
The only
that makes
copy I
sense.
have of those is old.
Mhm.
So the interest has been accrued, and I don't know if any of it's been spent or anything, you know, so.
Yeah,
there-
no,
there've
I'm
been-
not talking about accounts. I don't
Oh.
have any of that. I had information on the accounts
actually
back when I
do
was
have-
treasurer 3 years ago, but no, the only thing I ever saw was the numbers on the loan payments.
Okay. Okay, well,
We do have that information, what you're looking for, but not to the detail because so many times it's changed and they've done different things with the money that it's got mixed in. I think that's.
Well,
And that's a big problem is that
You
they
know,
started
they-
mixing accounts.
They did things that, they didn't keep track of what was started out originally in some of these accounts, and they got mixed in and other things were done with it, and that's the sad part of it, but we do have the accounts as far as how they stand now, what money's in it, but not to the degree of where
We tried to do
they
this,
all belong.
we tried to do this a
It's
year or
history.
so ago
Yeah.
as to how much in this account was actually Mr. North's money, and that needs to go to tech.
Yeah, we did.
How much of
pretty good
this,
with that, but yeah,
and
but-
so we did try and do that. I have no idea where that information ended up.
okay, so if I can go back through my old papers, I keep a separate file for every month. And I
You weren't
can-
around then, though.
Well, I don't know, because I
I don't know if you were
remember
on the board
something,
then.
but
That might have been
when
the
we were
reason why
buying
you don't
tech
know.
or something, that came up,
Mm.
where the money came from.
Mhm.
We have addressed
So,
it
I
before.
might have something stuck in a,
Okay. Well,
In
if you can
effect,
find that, great, but I know this is something we have addressed, is the mixing of the accounts and how much. Is for what?
I think we need to go through some old minutes
Yeah.
before our time.
Okay, anybody else have anything to say? Because it is 8:30 and we really didn't have much on the agenda for today. So any other concerns, comments?
Oh, real quick, did anybody say anything about the anniversary yet? Like, we're talking March, and March is a couple months away.
Karen, we
3
have a
months,
date
And
and
we
a
need
fee
to have
on
dates
this.
if we're gonna start reserving things
We,
like
we
firehouses.
have a date. I just can't
You
find
do?
out. Yeah, we picked a date.
No,
But did the
It was a
firehouse?
month
is
ago.
available?
I can't find out who to contact for the fire department.
Okay. I'll
I-
contact them.
I have contacted
Oh, I didn't know
multiple
the name,
people and
that's
said,
all.
who is the contact at the firehouse?
What's the
And
date?
no-
I don't
Well-
remember. I thought it was just March. When exactly?
yeah, I didn't think we picked that. I knew we picked a month, but I didn't think
Um,
we put the day.
No, me neither.
We were talking March 25th.
We were.
Mhm.
That's news to me too.
Oh, sorry, that was the date I was gonna talk to
Okay.
okay, I can't do the 18th. Well, maybe I can. I was gonna say I can't do the 18th because I wasn't supposed to be in town, but
We
now,
want it more towards the end too, for you.
and
gives
we
us
didn't
more
want to go
time.
earlier than that. But
Yeah,
it-
you don't know about winter.
And if we can't do then, we can go back into April.
Yeah, but like I said, I need a contact for the fire
I-
department.
did have one. I don't remember his name. But
But we did the Dems did our chili fest at the firehouse, so I've asked the Dems, can you give me a contact? And I've gotten nothing back. And we missed the Dems
I
meeting today
think
because
it
it's.
is
Gentleman.
Lori, maybe one of the contacts.
Lori Semperbog?
Yeah, something tells me that she might. have
She's the
been.
town treasurer.
No, but I think she knows somebody who knows somebody.
Okay.
Okay, anyways, I'll work on it. You work
I'll
on
work-
it
yeah.
between
Yeah.
all of us. We'll
But-
find something this week.
But is it okay if we find out who it is? You want us to just pass it on to you, or do you
Just
want to
pass
see
it,
if that's
just pass it on to
Dave
me, that's fine,
available?
and I will contact them. I've been trying, okay, I admit it's been the holidays, and so I haven't done anything in like the last 3 weeks, but prior to that, I called around, I emailed people trying to find out who I talked to. And,
I know who it is, but I don't remember who
okay, so, but that tentatively is the date that we're going to look at, is the last Saturday in March.
it is. Okay, because we gotta make sure that's even.
And
available.
once we know that the firehouse is available, then we start contacting other groups to get involved. But we can't do that until we have a definite date.
Of course. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Okay.
Okay, sounds
We have a
good.
Plan, yay. It's gonna come fast. I know it is.
Oh, I know. It's
Thank
already the
goodness, I
9th
think
of
it's
January.
Easy to set up once we get basic things done.
Mhm.
There's not like a lot of whole running around or anything else you have to do for this one. It's a potluck. People bring their food and they take their leftovers home, that kind of thing. So it's We're not gonna get stuck with a bunch of food after a caterer comes and a caterer, we don't want that.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody else have anything?
Nope.
Okay. Yes?
No,
Okay.
I just want to tell Kathy, I'm thrilled that she's in a band.
Well, thank you, but Joan,
Being a musical, you know?
well,
Picture very
Well, kept
literary
secrets.
and reading and stuff, and I just think that's fantastic. She plays how many instruments and everything?
but you're not counting on my band playing on the 25th of March, are you?
No, we're,
Okay. Phew. I was like, to get 5 of us together, it's like, lightning has to strike. And we have something on St. Patrick's Day. I know that much. So,
well, if we're definite on the 25th, we will send out an invitation to your band, and if they can make it, great. If not,
Okay.
we'll look for something else.
okay, super.
Okay, but like I said, if we have a definite date, we will send an official invitation to your band.
Would it be a paid thing? I mean, that's the thing.
This is the library, Kathy. No.
Well, then they're not going to do it, is what I'm saying.
Okay,
We get
okay.
paid.
Then that
You just-
$10,000
Right.
or $15,000, we'll spend it.
We said that this was going to cost us money to do the 100th anniversary.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a volunteer thing, but they're not associated. None of them live in
That's not.
Wellington, so
Yes,
I'm
no,
just saying they're going to want to get paid.
Yeah, no.
That's a paid gig.
How much do you usually get paid?
Like 75 a person, and there's 5 of us. It's
Yeah,
not a
no,
lot.
but because I was thinking $500 we could certainly fork over.
Yeah,
That's $100 a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we have decided, we made the decision that we would put some money into doing this 100th anniversary, make
I
it
will ask them.
done. But
Okay.
don't
Yeah,
ask
then.
them
I'll wait.
until we have a definite date.
I'll wait for sure. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
All set by me.
Okay, then it is 8:30, so I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Kathy seconds. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Aye.
Quick
Okay.
question: with
Yes.
Joan having been out for part of it, was someone else taking minutes, or how did that work for tonight?
It's being recorded. It's
Okay.
being recorded in 2 parts because of
Got
the
it.
fact that I lost the internet in the middle of it. But there
Okay.
will be a recording, so that can be written up.
Good.
Okay, my schedule says our first budget meeting is Wednesday. I will put
Okay.
in
be
an
there.
agenda.
This
tomorrow-
Wednesday,
The 11th is when I have it down for.
Yeah.
I am not going to be able to make it. I apologize. I thought our first one was on the 18th. I did not.
Joe said the same
It is the
thing.
18th too. It is. It's all the Wednesdays.
Yeah, because my notes say the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th, so we can get 3 meetings in.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have the 18th and 25th earmarked, but I have to pick up my daughter from the airport in Boston at the exact time we would be meeting. So
That's fine. This is just an introductory meeting to get some basic numbers.
Okay.
The meetings on the 18th and the 25th will be more important.
okay, I will be at those.
Okay. Okay, so I will set up an agenda for that for this Wednesday. And like I said, this should be a fairly short meeting. We should just be getting the basics and get them to review and then get more details.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody have a good night and we'll see you who we can on Wednesday.
good
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.